Go to any fanfic advice thread, and odds are you'll see this one piece of advice, often repeated by multiple people, with varying degrees of caps lock, bold font, and/or underlines. Don't ever say that you suck at summaries. This also happens to be advice that I always find myself agreeing with, mostly because it's a combination of advertising, confidence, and selling your story. To make it a little bit less corporate, though, try looking at it this way, with some hypothetical situation time. Let's say that you're looking for a new story to read. You might be browsing before bed, or on the bus to work, or school, or on a lunch break. You've got limited battery life on your phone or computer, and the minutes of free time you have are slowly ticking down. And if you're on a big website like fanfiction.net or Archive of Our Own, odds are you've got more than a few stories you need to decide between. So you need something to help you make the right decision and spend your free time well. Now, to be fair, you've got some help when it comes to finding good candidates, especially through the ratings and categories. Those help find a match with what you're looking for, whether that's a white-knuckled thrill ride or something a little bit more cuddly and relaxing. But still, even with those search aids, there's something holding you back from clicking and committing to a read. You've got a title that looks okay, a decent category match, but oh, well, there's the summary. Except there's this little note at the end saying the writer sucks at summaries. Maybe you should go with that other story that has a better hook, and maybe come back to this one with a sucky summary later. Maybe. If you've got the time for it. Which may be never. See, that's the thing about saying I suck at summaries or delivering a similar putdown, such as the story is better than the summary, for example. It's the lack of confidence in writing, and that bleeds into the main text. Imagine if somebody gives you a perfectly made ice cream sundae in a container that used to hold toilet cleaner. It doesn't really matter that the rest of the stuff is great if the way it's been presented doesn't have the same amount of care put into it. But enough with the dire warnings and kind of queasy metaphors on why you shouldn't do this. Let's jump to some methods on why you won't have to write I suck into your summary. First off, have confidence. Don't worry, no one's saying that you have to sashay down a red carpet shouting about how awesome you are. If you're shy or humble, there's no need for that. Just have faith that your writing can speak for itself. That if you write down something, it's worthwhile and can stand on its own without needing anything else from you. Second, don't be afraid of a basic summary. It's okay to be simple in a synopsis. People will probably appreciate getting to the point so they can decide on if this story is for them or not. In a similar method, don't be afraid of posting an excerpt as your summary. Just go into the document and find the one or two sentences that sum up what your story is all about, or are the funniest or the most engaging. Yeah, it's not new content you're writing, but if it hooks the reader, if it makes them want to know the context of this quote or what comes after it, then it makes them click the link and read more. Third, it's okay to use formulas. I remember going on to the website Query Shark, which, as an aside, if you've got some time on your hands, I really recommend. While it's meant for querying agents about professional manuscripts, you can still absorb a ton of writing advice. And in the comments section, I found this little nugget of advice. When an event happens, it causes main character to react and leads to complication. It's a basic template, but it's a starting point with helping you distill your story down to the essentials and think about what your summary really needs to address. And once you've written down the bones, you can start rearranging them a little, putting more meat on them, experimenting with them, you know. For example, let's say I've got a fanfic where the characters from Legend of Korra are sky pirates, fighting the future industries trade empire, and there's a romance building between Korra and Asami, and just to make it a little more fun, Asami gets kidnapped by these sky pirates and is also a repressed firebender. There's the bones of my hypothetical, albeit very silly story. That's what I need to convey in my summary, and I need to sell it in a way that's fun. So here's those ideas run through the basic formula. Ahem. When Asami Sato finds herself taken hostage by the air pirate Korra and her crew, she finds her loyalties torn between her merchant family and a building romance between her and the pirate captain. Between her growing feelings and battles that rage across the skies, something is burning inside her heart, and she must embrace or reject it. Also, you don't have to read your summary out loud using the overdramatic trailer voice, but it does make things more fun. But with that example, we've got characters, conflict, complications, and an idea of where the story will go. And again, that's enough to inform your reader on what the story is about, and they can decide for themselves if that's interesting. Finally, a quick tip about summary length. Sites such as ff.net have a cap of around 300 characters. That summary above just barely fits in, but sacrifices things such as relationship tags, or clarifications that this is an alternate universe fanfic, or any warnings. Myself, I prefer to include those things in the author's notes if I'm short on room, but where to place those is definitely something up to the individual writer. But it bears repeating. Whatever you do, don't say you suck at summaries. Don't imply to your audience that a part of your writing isn't good. Don't put yourself down in your first impression, and don't discourage someone from clicking on the story link. And that's the end goal of your summary, convincing your reader to make that commitment and click on the link. That's all. As long as you've done that, your summary has done its job, and therefore you don't suck at summaries. So stop saying that! That wraps it up for this video, hopefully giving you new things to think on. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, y'all take care and write better fanfic.